Have you ever sensed that there is more to life than what we see with our eyes? Moments when you hear a whisper from the universe guiding you, nudging you forward. My name is Candace Sanderson, and I am author of The Reluctant Messenger, The Reluctant Messenger Returns, and a series of smaller books called From the Reluctant Messenger, and I welcome you back. In today's episode, I'll share my journey beyond the veil to the realms where angels, spirit guides, and other magnificent fields of the non-physical. But what I'll do is offer you some tools to help you do the same. Together, we will explore how to listen, to trust, and to awaken to the messages that are already arriving for you. In a recent mantra-like communication from my messengers, they kept repeating, "It's not what you know, it's what you show." No matter how profound our out-of-body experiences are, or our connections to guides and angels, if we do not integrate those teachings into our daily lives, what use are they? I don't want people to look at me and connect because of how many likes I have on social media, how many videos I produce, how many best-selling books I publish. No, I want people to want to connect because of what I do in my daily life, how I respond to controversy, and how I might bring a little bit of grace and peace into a chaotic world. That is what I hope to show hour by hour through living this 3D life. It's the integration of these divine pieces of wisdom into our daily lives. My spiritual journey started during an early morning commute in 2013 when I was headed to my office as a psychologist. I had no previous skills or experience with anything that was related to something that was psychic. But something changed during that drive when I received a message that I knew was not from me or from anyone I knew. This marked the beginning of my role as a messenger, albeit a reluctant one. But since that time, my cadre of messengers has expanded to include angels, guides, even ETs. Although the conversations from them are quite often very different, each messenger offers guidance and insight that will help me navigate my 3D life just a little better. Today, let's talk about unleashing your reluctant messenger. Enter Donna Rapido, host of Exploring Consciousness podcast, acupuncturist, author, and near-death experiencer, plus many more other things. If you are new to my channel, you may not know Donna. Several years ago, she contacted me after reading my first book. Instructed by her guides, she suggested that we start a YouTube channel together based on my first book, The Reluctant Messenger. Designed in a sort of book club format, Donna and I soon discovered much more to discuss. We had teachings, stories, and insights that went far beyond the book's pages. And this newly found acquaintance, Donna, well, she became one of my best friends in life. Not only establishing this YouTube channel, but the title itself was divinely inspired through Donna's guides. I still remember the moment Donna told me the title. I knew it was perfect. The Reluctant Messenger Unleashed YouTube channel. When she shared this name, I immediately pictured a hunting dog weaving through tall grass, startling birds into flight. As the dog flushed out each flock, it became clear that he was revealing things that I had not seen. I laughed out loud at the analogy. The title was The Reluctant Messenger Unleashed, and my vision was of an unleashed dog who unleashed important things that had been hidden. So, yes, that title proved to be perfect. We would flush out those hidden gems behind the messages that I had received. But there was more. It would not just be about my journey or Donna's journey. It was about all of us unleashing the reluctant messengers within. This channel soon became a very safe place for spiritual exploration, a place where we could dive deep into topics like out-of-body experiences, angelic encounters, visions, messages, and the subtle ways that spirit often communicates with us. I will always be grateful to Donna for her insight and her dedication that made the Reluctant Messenger Unleashed channel possible. We started this series by going through the Reluctant Messenger chapter by chapter, sometimes page by page. As we discussed the writings, we soon discovered new things about ourselves and our extraordinary journeys into the unknown. Donna had entered that realm through her near-death experience. I was luckier. I began my spiritual path through a spontaneous opening, a channeling while I was driving to work one day. But soon Donna and I realized we had so much in common. One of our core themes was our out-of-body experiences. Someone asked me, and I'm not sure if they were joking, but they asked if this was a way to avoid those day-to-day challenges that we all experience as humans. I laugh because maybe they were looking for an escape, but these extraordinary journeys are not about avoiding life's trials and tribulations. They're actually about embracing them. When we return from the expansiveness of that 5D, our perspectives have changed. And that new point of view helps us navigate our 3D life just a little better. Again, that's what this is all about. Integrating and grounding that sacred wisdom into our daily lives. When we shift our consciousness, our awareness beyond the physical, we truly understand because we experience that we are more than our physical bodies. We are eternal beings connected to realms of light and intelligence that is far beyond this physical world. In a recent episode on this channel called Proving the Unprovable, I shared how my out-of-body experiences unfold in real time. I was preparing to listen to a meditation from Monroe Institute. It was a 30-minute exercise using their sound-based technology called Monroe Sound Science. I had just eaten too much, which was probably a factor. I relaxed into a very comfortable chair with my journal and pen ready to record. I put on my headphones, I fully reclined in the chair, and I started the meditation on my phone. The next thing I knew, I woke with just seconds before the meditation ended. It was only afterwards, the next day, that I glanced at my journal and I realized I had recorded my experience. I never knew I had because I was sound asleep. Monroe Institute calls this clicking out. You might think you are sleeping, but you are still experiencing. Now, I know that click out is an actual phenomenon. There has always been that part of me that thought maybe it was just a diplomatic way, a nice way to make you feel better about falling asleep and missing the meditation. Well, my experience shot down that theory. I read my verbatim notes from the meditation in that episode called Proving the Unprovable, and I'm not going to share it all now, but I am going to read the first paragraph just to give you a taste of this real time experience. Awareness, pure awareness, is the basis of the primordial sound of life itself, as Om gives rise to all that is. It is the echo of universal awareness, the key to expanding beyond life as I slip beyond those divine frequencies in an out-of-body state. Now, these are not my normal words. Primordial sound of life and that Om business, there were no Oms in the meditation. But I'm used to this now. When I slip into the 5D, wisdom comes through what I know is not from me. But reading that message offered me a moment of truth, not to convince others, but just to remind ourselves that we are never alone and that guidance is always available if we listen. During that sleeping meditation, my hand had automatically moved across my journal pages, recording my experience. But this was not automatic writing. You see, I had developed a tool years before that was so effective that falling asleep did not stop the process. The tool, that was my scribe. My scribe is an aspect of me who took notes in real time during the event. When I identified her and her job as a scribe, that is when she became a tool, a psychic tool that I use 100% of the time when I meditate. She's automatic. She records in real time what I experience, and what a helpful tool she is. I first realized the value of psychic tools through Donna's The Reluctant Messenger Unleashed channel. Although I had used and experienced a variety of techniques to reach altered states, like the ladder of enlightenment, I'd not thought of them as tools. With Donna's help, I began to see these methods as tools that were designed to be shared with others. Donna and I ended our YouTube channel with several episodes discussing these psychic tools that we identified along the way. I'd learned so much from working with Donna on The Reluctant Messenger Unleashed that I actually rewrote parts of my original book, The Reluctant Messenger, and I republished it as a second edition. I realize you are never too old to learn. But let's take a look at some of these psychic tools. Donna had grouped them into these categories. We had protection, movement, healing, and communication. Some tools span multiple categories, making them even more useful. When I understood how these tools supported my 5D interactions, I realized how essential they are for connecting with the 5D, for communicating with angels and guides. I saw also how they aligned with the formula the messengers gave me. It's the T formula, TEA, thoughts, energy, action. If our thought, the T in TEA, for example, is to connect with the non-physical realms, we need to pave the way for that action, the A, to occur. And that's where that connecting E, TEA, the energy, the right energy comes into play. The question is, how do we stay grounded and centered and align our energy with the desired outcome, the action? And then follow a flow of positive energy for the T to manifest. Through experience, I have discovered two prerequisites: courage and curiosity. Let's look at that word courage. It actually stems from a French word that means heart. That is so appropriate because the messengers tell me the heart is the portal to the 5D field of energy that surrounds us. And curiosity, if we approach life with a sense of curiosity, any fears that we have dissipate. We bring an energy of excitement while also trusting all will be well. Yes, curiosity and courage open doors to realms beyond our 3D world. They are foundational for 5D explorations. As soon as we fear something, for example, we stop the process. So the question becomes, how do we and why would we convert the frequencies of curiosity and courage into tools? Using tools will give focus. It will allow us to approach our extraordinary travels with our eyes wide open instead of eyes closed and leaving it to chance. The T formula, TEA, shows that programming energy, the E, into the tool makes that transition from T to A more efficient and intentional. It becomes automatic and therefore reduces the risk of negative energies like doubt to disrupt the process, to derail the initial thought from the intended action. So what do you say? Let's approach our extraordinary travels with eyes wide open and pick up those energies of courage and curiosity, and let's transform them into tools. Next question, how? Pick something meaningful to you. It makes it easier to remember, makes it easier to picture. Usually, your first thought works best. I'll show you what works for me. For the word courage, I instantly think of Stephen Crane's classic book, The Red Badge of Courage. In my mind's eye, I picture a little red book. I also think of the Cowardly Lion receiving his Medal of Courage in the Wizard of Oz movie. Either one of those would work well for me. Courage and curiosity infuses them with those frequencies, with those traits. Just as modern tools improve efficiency, so do psychic tools through our intent. Even a sticky note labeled curiosity or courage will strengthen those qualities. So now, with my two prerequisites, courage and curiosity, already programmed into tools, I am ready to explore. We have so much to discover within ourselves. But oh, how much fun it is when you can find your tribe and explore together. If you travel deep into the cosmos, for example, you just might run into Donna and me riding on the tail of a comet as we zoom through constellations. With every encounter into the 5D, you begin to realize that the 3D to 5D boundaries that you once believed were fixed are in fact porous. If you approach the edges of 3D reality with curiosity, with courage, these boundaries become opportunities rather than obstacles. You will be more likely to explore the unknown than turn away from it because of hesitancy or fear. With curiosity as your compass, let courage motivate you. The insights sparked along the way might open doors for deeper connections that will gently guide you into unknown parts of your evolving story. As that perspective expands, so do the invitations for you to discover the truth of who you really are. This is when you will begin to unleash that reluctant messenger within. In the Reluctant Messenger Unleashed YouTube channel, Donna invites the audience to explore alongside with us. She shows us that this journey into spirit is not about proving anything. No, you soon discover that it is about noticing. It is about opening. And it is about honoring the unseen. It is about unleashing the knowledge you discover. Within those spaces of the 5D, you will find the sacred. You will find wisdom. You will find truth. And that's what life is all about, right? We have reached a good stopping point, so in the next episode, we'll talk about preparing the 3D physical environment before connecting with the 5D spiritual realms. In my newfound mantra from the messengers, it's not what you know, it's what you show. Let's show kindness. Let's show grace. Let's show compassion and understanding. And don't forget to smile. That is how we change the world, one smile at a time. Between now and the next episode, think of what you can use as a tool for exploration. If this episode resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe and to share. Let us know your experiences in the comments below. What tools do you use to represent courage and curiosity? I love hearing about the signs and synchronicities in your life. So until next time, stay curious, stay open, and let the messengers of light guide your way. Unleash that reluctant messenger within.